Counter-Narrative News wanted to bring you this interesting clip. So this is the behind-the-scenes footage, some of the footage of the 1992 published film called Juice, whose main star, as you can see in the footage, is Tupac Shakur. And so Juice came about, so it's based about working class black youth in the working class community of Harlem in New York. And the film comes about in a period in which there's many similar films about black working class experiences, or at least depictions of it, because it's a bit more complicated than that. It's in a period of the early 90s, which is really still on the back of the defeat of the upsurge of the black liberation movement, particularly in the 60s going into the 70s. And then it gets basically defeated in the 70s, and then that kind of defeat and the victory of the white colonial state is kind of pushed and kind of made a real reality in a right-wing direction through the 80s. And then you have all of these films that come about. So there's films like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, New Jack City, and Juice. Now, the problem with this, and the reason why we're sharing this, is that a lot of these films, they do comment on a lot of the things that were happening in terms of the rise of anti-community, anti-people, internalized racist violence, etc., the kind of contraction of the black liberation politics, and then the expanse of more right-wing anti-people politics into the community. And Juice really shows how best friends in a working class community get caught up because of poverty and racism in illegitimate means of trying to access money and respect, and also the whole kind of patriarchal, misogynistic, macho type of culture and competition. Now here you can see it's the clip in which Tupac basically kills his best friend in the film. And the reason it was important for me to watch this footage is because every time I've seen the film Juice for decades now, immediately after watching it, I basically go into a depression for about a week or two, because none of these films were uplifting. They were all kind of fed into the political depression that it was depicting of its time. Now, Matthew Kasowitz's film La Haine, which comes out, if I'm not mistaken, around 1994, it's a bit different. It's a similar aesthetic to these films, based in a working class council estate in the suburbs of Paris, but it also shows a level of self-organization. So Hubert, the African heritage black guy, runs a boxing gym, and so that gets burnt down in the riot against the police. So there's still some kind of, there's still some references to something positive happening, and the challenges around exploitation and oppression and policing, etc. Whereas Juice is just a straight up story about the internalization of oppression and racism of young working class males, and then projecting that out through terrible consequences in targeting your closest friend in your crew, in your friendship circle, in your peer group. And it just has left me depressed. So then seeing this behind the scenes footage where Tupac Shakur is vibing, having a laugh with the director, the production, people on the production on the set, and his other colleagues, actors, and other people in the community, is just, they're having a laugh. It's just chilled out. It's all jokes. It's just a nice antidote to the really traumatizing, depressing narrative that the film presents. Now, this is interesting because Tupac Shakur is the son of Afeni Shakur. Part of his immediate family and his kind of metaphorical family is Jamal Joseph, is Mutula Shakur, and others who are all leading members of the Black Panther Party in New York through the 60s and the 70s. And Tupac Shakur himself was a national leader, national chairman, if I'm not mistaken, of the quote-unquote New African Panthers, which was another kind of Panther movement inspired by the original Panther movements of the Black Panther Party, the Lowndes County Freedom Party, and other organizations that call themselves Panthers around the mid to the late 60s. So Tupac Shakur wanted to actually restart the black liberation struggle in a similar vein and a continuation of the Black Panther Party, of literally his mother, of which he was, she was pregnant with Tupac, serving prison time for false charges against 21 members of the New York Panthers, what were called the New York 21, and they were found not guilty of all charges. It was a setup. So Tupac did want to continue the struggle, and he continued to do so by linking up with Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, etc. And arguably many people have analysed that the reason why Biggie and Tupac were eliminated, basically by the US racist state, was to stop any potential for unity, mass unity at the grassroots, to restart a black liberation struggle, around which Tupac Shakur was explicitly strategizing in his involvement in the entertainment industry, in music, etc. So yeah, just wanted to share this clip. You can find it on social media, and you can go through it. It's just great to see Tupac Shakur chilling out, enjoying. He's a very talented actor. He does an impression of a Al Pacino type character in the clip as well. He's sipping on his Tropicana orange juice, to which, people are teasing him. It's spiked with alcohol. But anyway, please enjoy.